Have you ever stood in your kitchen, sprinkled a little cinnamon on your morning oatmeal, and wondered if that tiny pinch of spice could actually do something powerful for your heart? Cinnamon is one of those simple ingredients that feels almost magical. It's warm, comforting, and instantly makes you think of apple pies, holiday cookies, or a cozy cup of coffee. But here's the question: is cinnamon really as good for your heart as people claim? Or could it have risks we don't know about? I was having coffee the other day with John, a retired firefighter from Texas, who told me, "I've been putting cinnamon on my coffee every morning for years. My daughter said it's good for my heart." But is that true, Doc? John is like so many of us, trying to make smart choices that can protect his health as he gets older. And honestly, cinnamon is one of those ingredients that deserves a closer look because it's far more than just a flavor booster. You see, cinnamon is packed with powerful natural compounds like polyphenols and cinnamaldehyde. These aren't just fancy scientific words. They're the real deal when it comes to fighting the things that silently damage our bodies over time. Think of these compounds like your body's cleanup crew. They help fight free radicals, which are harmful molecules that cause oxidative stress and can lead to chronic problems like heart disease, high blood pressure, and inflammation in your arteries. If you've ever seen an old rusty pipe, that's what oxidative stress is like inside your body. Cinnamon helps slow that rusting process. And let me tell you, oxidative stress and chronic inflammation are two of the biggest villains when it comes to heart problems. They're the sneaky troublemakers that contribute to plaque buildup in the arteries, which can lead to high blood pressure or even a heart attack. So, when you sprinkle cinnamon on your toast or add it to your tea, you're actually doing something that may help your heart stay strong and flexible. But wait, it gets better. One of cinnamon's biggest superpowers is improving blood circulation. Think of your blood vessels like highways. Over time, those highways can get clogged or stiff, making it harder for blood to move freely. Cinnamon has natural compounds that help relax and widen those blood vessels. This can lower blood pressure, which is a game changer for anyone dealing with hypertension. High blood pressure is one of the leading causes of heart attacks and strokes in America. Millions of people are silently battling it every day, often without even realizing how dangerous it can be. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, Doc, that sounds great. But what about cholesterol? My doctor keeps telling me my LDL is too high. And you're right to ask. Cinnamon isn't just a one-trick pony. It's also been shown to help lower LDL, what we call bad cholesterol, while boosting HDL, or good cholesterol. Why does that matter? Because high LDL is like dumping sludge into your arteries, while HDL acts like a janitor, cleaning things out. Plus, cinnamon can also help lower triglycerides, which are another sneaky fat that can increase your risk of heart problems when they're too high. This is why I often tell my friends, cinnamon is a simple spice that acts like a full wellness package for your heart. It's like having a team of tiny bodyguards inside you, protecting your arteries, improving your circulation, and helping to keep your blood pressure and cholesterol in check. But let's not forget another critical piece of the puzzle: blood sugar. At first, you might think, what does blood sugar have to do with my heart? Well, a lot. When your blood sugar is out of control, like in type 2 diabetes, it puts an enormous strain on your cardiovascular system. It can damage your blood vessels and raise the risk of heart attacks. Cinnamon helps here too. It improves insulin sensitivity, which means your body can handle glucose more effectively, avoiding those dangerous spikes. I've seen this make a huge difference for people, even those who aren't diabetic but just want steady energy levels and better long-term health. Of course, you might now be wondering, how do I actually use cinnamon in a safe, effective way? Not all cinnamon is created equal. The variety you want is called Ceylon cinnamon, sometimes called true cinnamon. It has a higher concentration of the good compounds and a much lower level of coumarin. which in large amounts can stress your liver. If you're using regular supermarket cinnamon, often cassia cinnamon, it's still okay. But it's worth looking for Ceylon, especially if you plan on using it every day. So how much is enough? For most adults, the sweet spot is around half to 1 teaspoon a day, about 1.6 grams. That's all you need to get the benefits without overdoing it. And adding it to your routine is easy. Sprinkle it on your morning coffee. Stir it into yogurt. Add it to a smoothie. Or even toss it on baked sweet potatoes. It's one of the simplest heart hacks, I know. Before we go further, let me pause and give you a little tip. No single food or spice can save your heart on its own. Cinnamon is powerful, but it works best when paired with a healthy lifestyle. Think balanced meals, daily movement, like a nice walk around your neighborhood, and regular checkups with your doctor. I've met too many people who think, oh, I'll just add cinnamon, and I don't have to worry about my diet anymore. That's not how it works. Think of it as a small but mighty helper in your overall plan for staying strong and healthy. And here's something very important. If you're on medications for blood pressure, cholesterol, or diabetes, check with your doctor before you start taking larger amounts of cinnamon daily. It's natural, but it can interact with certain drugs. It's always better to be safe than sorry. Now, let me bring this back to my friend John from Texas. After I explained all this to him, he smiled and said, "So, Doc, you're telling me my morning coffee habit is actually helping me out?" I laughed and told him, "Yes. But don't skip your walks just yet. That's the beauty of cinnamon. It's a tiny habit that can give your heart a little extra love." In this video, we're going to go even deeper. I'll show you exactly how cinnamon works in your body, the best ways to use it, and the common mistakes people make when they try to overdo it. You'll also discover how something so simple can play a big role in preventing serious health problems down the road. And trust me, once you understand its power, you'll never look at that little spice jar in your kitchen the same way again. So, grab a cup of tea or coffee. Maybe sprinkle a little cinnamon on top. And let's dive into everything you need to know about this amazing spice and your heart health. Prevention is always better than treatment. And what you'll learn today could be the small step that makes a big difference for your heart in the years ahead. When most people think of cinnamon, they imagine holiday cookies, hot apple cider, or sweet rolls, not heart health. But what if I told you that cinnamon might be one of the most powerful natural allies for your cardiovascular system? This simple spice, which has been sitting quietly in your kitchen cabinet, could be helping you fight off some of the most common health problems Americans face today: high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and even the silent buildup of plaque in your arteries. Let me share a story that might resonate with you. A few years ago, I met Linda, a grandmother from Ohio, during a wellness workshop. Linda told me she'd been struggling with high cholesterol and borderline high blood pressure for years. Her doctor wanted her to start on medication, but she hoped to try natural lifestyle changes first. She'd read about cinnamon but didn't know if it was just another fad or something truly helpful. After I explained the science behind it, how cinnamon can help relax blood vessels and reduce oxidative stress, she decided to give it a try as part of her morning routine. Within a few months, Linda noticed her blood pressure was more stable. And when she returned to her doctor, her cholesterol numbers had improved. Now, was that only because of cinnamon? Of course not. She also made changes to her diet, like adding more vegetables and walking 20 minutes each day. But cinnamon played its part, acting like a supportive friend in her journey. You see, cinnamon contains special compounds like cinnamaldehyde and polyphenols, which have been shown to help reduce inflammation and neutralize harmful free radicals. Think of free radicals as tiny sparks that can damage your cells over time, especially the cells lining your arteries. If left unchecked, they contribute to what we call oxidative stress. which is one of the major reasons people develop heart disease as they get older. What makes this so important for us here in the United States is the fact that heart disease is still the #1 cause of death. It's not just about genetics, it's often about lifestyle, diet, and the little habits we choose each day. And here's the shocking truth. While cinnamon might seem like just a small detail, it's one of those little habits that can tip the scale in your favor. Another reason cinnamon is gaining attention is its effect on blood sugar regulation. While that might sound more like a concern for diabetics, the truth is that blood sugar spikes and crashes are linked to long-term cardiovascular damage. Cinnamon helps the body use insulin more effectively, which keeps your energy stable and prevents stress on your blood vessels. This is something I explain to my older patients all the time. If you want to take care of your heart, start by keeping your blood sugar steady. Now, let me be very clear. Cinnamon is not a magic bullet. You can't eat fast food every day. Sprinkle some cinnamon on top and expect miracles. But when you use it as part of a healthy, balanced lifestyle, it can make a real difference. I like to compare it to adding a little extra armor to your heart, a small but mighty layer of protection that works quietly in the background. In this section, we're setting the stage for what's to come in the rest of this video. We'll dive deeper into each of cinnamon's heart-boosting benefits. Look at how it helps with blood pressure, cholesterol, and circulation, and give you practical tips to get the most out of this powerful spice. By the time we finish, you'll not only understand why cinnamon is so beneficial, but you'll also know exactly how to use it safely and effectively. Before we move on, let me ask you this. When was the last time you really paid attention to the small things in your diet? We often focus on the big picture, cutting out sugar, eating more vegetables, but it's the tiny habits, like adding a teaspoon of cinnamon to your morning oatmeal, that can have a surprisingly big impact over time. So, if you're ready, let's dig deeper and uncover why cinnamon might just be the secret weapon your heart has been waiting for. Whenever I talk about cinnamon in my workshops or with my patients, there's always someone who raises an eyebrow and says, "Wait, Doc, I've read online that too much cinnamon can be harmful. Is it really safe for my heart?" And that's a fair question. In today's world, where one day coffee is good for you and the next day it's bad, it's easy to feel confused about what's truly safe. The truth is, cinnamon can be both a friend and a foe, depending on how you use it. Think of it like medicine. The right dose can heal, but too much can do harm. In moderate amounts, cinnamon is one of the most heart-friendly spices you can add to your meals. But if you go overboard, especially with the cheaper cassia cinnamon, the most common type sold in grocery stores, it can put stress on your liver because of a compound called coumarin. To help you understand this better, let me tell you a story about Michael, a retired truck driver from Kansas. Michael started putting 2 tablespoons of cinnamon in his smoothies every morning because he thought, if a little is good, a lot must be better. After a few weeks, he noticed he felt off, tired and a little queasy. When we reviewed his diet, I quickly spotted the problem: too much cinnamon. After scaling back to just half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon per day, Michael felt fine and still got all the heart health benefits. So, how do you make cinnamon a friend rather than a foe? Here are a few simple rules I tell my patients. Choose Ceylon cinnamon, true cinnamon. This variety has far less coumarin and is rich in the beneficial compounds that make cinnamon so good for your heart. You might have to look for it online or in health food stores, but it's worth it. Stick to the right dose. Around 1/2 to 1 teaspoon per day, 1.6 grams, is enough to get all the benefits without risking side effects. That's plenty for your oatmeal, coffee, or yogurt. Don't treat it like a supplement. Cinnamon is best used as part of a healthy diet, not as a miracle pill. Pair it with fresh fruits, whole grains, lean proteins, and vegetables for maximum impact. Be consistent but moderate. It's better to have a small amount of cinnamon every day rather than taking huge doses once in a while. Think of it as building up small wins over time for your heart. One of the reasons cinnamon gets such a mixed reputation is because people don't always understand the balance. Social media sometimes exaggerates its benefits, making it sound like a cure-all, while others focus only on its risks. The reality is somewhere in between. Cinnamon is a helpful ally, but only if you use it wisely. Another point I always emphasize is that cinnamon alone can't undo years of poor habits. If your diet is full of fried foods, processed sugar, and soda, sprinkling cinnamon on your latte won't fix the bigger picture. However, if you use it as part of a balanced diet, one filled with whole, nourishing foods, it can make a meaningful difference. The science backs this up. Studies have shown that the bioactive compounds in cinnamon help relax blood vessels, improve circulation, and lower inflammation, all things that directly support cardiovascular health. But these studies also point out that moderate amounts are key. Just like with any natural remedy, consistency and balance matter more than excess. As we move deeper into this topic, I want you to think of cinnamon as a friend that supports you, but not as the entire foundation of your health. Imagine building a strong house. Cinnamon is like the finishing touches, the paint or the roof. But you still need the walls, a healthy diet, the foundation, regular exercise, and the overall structure, a positive lifestyle, to keep everything standing strong. Before we go into how cinnamon improves blood flow in the next section, I want to leave you with this thought: health is built on small, sustainable choices. It's not about chasing trends or taking extreme measures. If you can add just a little bit of cinnamon each day while maintaining a balanced approach, you're giving your heart one more layer of protection. And that's how you turn this humble spice from a kitchen staple into a lifelong ally. Blood flow is like the lifeline of your body. Every heartbeat sends oxygen and nutrients to every cell, from your brain to your toes. When blood circulation is smooth and strong, you feel more energetic, your skin glows, and your heart stays healthier. But when circulation is sluggish due to stiff blood vessels, high blood pressure, or plaque buildup, your entire system suffers. This is where cinnamon steps in as a quiet hero. I remember a conversation with Mary, a retired teacher from Florida, who told me, "Doc, my hands and feet are always cold. Is there anything natural I can do to improve my circulation?" My first suggestion was to stay active with daily walks, but I also recommended adding a pinch of cinnamon to her diet. After a few weeks of adding cinnamon to her morning tea and evening oatmeal, she noticed that her hands and feet didn't feel as icy. Was that entirely due to cinnamon? Probably not, but it definitely gave her blood flow a boost. So, what makes cinnamon so special for circulation? The answer lies in its ability to help relax and dilate blood vessels. Cinnamon's bioactive compounds, especially cinnamaldehyde, act almost like natural relaxants for the arteries, allowing blood to flow more freely. Imagine your blood vessels as flexible rubber hoses. Over time, poor diet, stress, and inflammation can make them stiff and narrow, like old pipes. Cinnamon helps keep those pipes flexible, reducing strain on your heart. Another incredible effect of cinnamon is its role in reducing blood pressure. Several studies have found that regular cinnamon intake, even as little as half a teaspoon a day, can help lower systolic and diastolic blood pressure. For someone with hypertension, a condition affecting millions of Americans, this small change can be life-changing. It's not about replacing your prescribed medication, but rather supporting your body naturally while following your doctor's plan. Here's a quick example of how cinnamon can improve circulation. Enhancing nitric oxide levels. Nitric oxide is a molecule your body produces to relax blood vessels and improve blood flow. Cinnamon naturally supports this process, similar to how leafy greens or beets do. Reducing inflammation in vessel walls. Chronic inflammation makes blood vessels more prone to clogging. Cinnamon's antioxidants act like a shield, calming this inflammation, improving microcirculation. This is the flow of blood through the tiniest vessels, which affects things like skin health and energy. Cinnamon improves microcirculation, giving your body better oxygen delivery. I often tell my patients to think of cinnamon as a natural traffic controller for your blood. When circulation is smooth, your heart doesn't have to work as hard. Your blood pressure lowers, your risk of heart attack decreases, and even your energy levels feel more stable. That's why I see cinnamon as more than just a spice. It's part of a holistic cardiovascular strategy. Now, how do you incorporate cinnamon in a way that really supports circulation? Start with the simple habit of adding 1/2 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon to your daily routine. Sprinkle it on your coffee, tea, or even roasted vegetables. Some people like to mix it with a teaspoon of honey in warm water. It's not only soothing but also a great way to jump-start your day. One thing to keep in mind is consistency. Having cinnamon once a month won't do much for your blood flow, but a little each day, paired with other heart-friendly habits like staying hydrated and walking, can bring noticeable benefits over time. Before we move to the next section on lowering blood pressure, I want you to picture this. Imagine your heart as a pump and your blood vessels as highways. You want those highways to be clear, smooth, and flexible so your pump doesn't burn out. Cinnamon is like the crew that helps maintain those highways, repairing, cleaning, and keeping everything running smoothly. It's a small addition to your diet, but over time, it can make a big difference. High blood pressure, often called the silent killer, is one of the leading causes of heart attacks, strokes, and kidney problems in America. The tricky part? Most people don't feel any symptoms until it's dangerously high. That's why I always tell my patients, don't wait to feel bad to take care of your blood pressure. Start now. And one of the most natural and effective helpers in this area is cinnamon. Let me tell you about Robert, a retired Navy veteran from North Carolina. Robert had been on medication for high blood pressure for years, but he wanted to do more on his own to manage it. His doctor suggested a heart-healthy diet and regular exercise. And that's when Robert came to one of my wellness classes. He was skeptical when I mentioned cinnamon, saying, "Doc, are you really telling me that this stuff I sprinkle on my toast can help my blood pressure?" I smiled and said, "Yes, but it's not just about the sprinkle, it's about the science." Cinnamon works to lower blood pressure in a few key ways. First, it helps your blood vessels relax by boosting their ability to dilate. When your arteries are relaxed, your heart doesn't have to work as hard to push blood through. Second, cinnamon's anti-inflammatory compounds reduce the stiffness in your arteries caused by chronic inflammation. Third, cinnamon can help regulate blood sugar levels, which indirectly helps lower blood pressure since blood sugar spikes put extra stress on your cardiovascular system. There's research to back this up. Studies have shown that even a daily dose of 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of cinnamon can help reduce both systolic, the top number, and diastolic, the bottom number, blood pressure readings. While cinnamon isn't a replacement for medication, it can be an amazing partner when combined with other healthy habits like reducing salt, eating more fresh produce, and exercising regularly. So how can you use cinnamon to support healthier blood pressure levels? Here are a few easy ideas. Morning start. Sprinkle a little cinnamon on your coffee or latte. It's an easy swap for sugar and adds a warm, comforting flavor. Smoothies and oatmeal. A pinch of cinnamon in your smoothie or bowl of oatmeal gives a sweet taste without the sugar spike. Savory dishes. Believe it or not, cinnamon pairs well with meats like chicken or lamb, adding a unique depth of flavor. I also recommend pairing cinnamon with foods rich in potassium, like bananas, spinach, or avocados. Potassium balances sodium in the body, which helps further reduce blood pressure. Think of it as a teamwork approach. Cinnamon relaxes your arteries, and potassium keeps your sodium in check. But here's the thing I remind everyone. Small changes add up. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon won't magically drop your blood pressure overnight. But daily habits, over weeks and months, create results. When Robert combined cinnamon with his morning walks and switched to more whole foods, his blood pressure numbers started to improve. His doctor was so pleased that he was able to lower his medication dosage. If you're currently on blood pressure medication, make sure to check with your doctor before making big changes. Cinnamon is safe for most people, but it can interact with certain drugs, especially blood thinners. A quick conversation with your healthcare provider will ensure you get the benefits without any risks. Now, as we move into the next section, we'll talk about cholesterol, the other major factor in heart health. Just like blood pressure, cholesterol levels can quietly put your heart at risk if you don't take control. And you'll see how cinnamon steps in as a natural ally once again, helping you fight bad cholesterol while boosting the good. Cholesterol is one of those topics that always gets people worried, especially after a routine checkup. We hear so much about good cholesterol, HDL, and bad cholesterol, LDL. But what do they really mean? Simply put, LDL cholesterol is like sticky sludge that can clog your arteries, while HDL cholesterol acts like a cleaning crew, helping to clear out that buildup. The balance between the two is what truly matters for your heart health. This is where cinnamon comes in as an unexpected but powerful helper. Research has shown that cinnamon can help lower LDL cholesterol and triglycerides, while increasing HDL cholesterol. This combination creates a much healthier environment for your heart, reducing the risk of fatty deposits hardening in your arteries, a condition called atherosclerosis. I recall a conversation with Nancy, a 63-year-old retired nurse from Arizona. She had always been mindful of her diet but still struggled with high LDL cholesterol. Her doctor recommended medication, but Nancy wanted to see if natural approaches could help lower her numbers first. I suggested she try adding half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon to her breakfast each day, along with healthy fats like avocados and nuts. After a few months of consistent effort, her LDL levels dropped, and her HDL increased. Her doctor was impressed, and Nancy felt more empowered knowing that a simple spice had played a role in her success. How does cinnamon actually influence cholesterol? Antioxidant power. Cinnamon is rich in antioxidants that help prevent the oxidation of LDL cholesterol. Oxidized LDL is far more harmful because it sticks to the arterial walls and forms plaques. Improved lipid metabolism. Cinnamon's bioactive compounds help the body metabolize fats more efficiently, which can lead to lower levels of triglycerides and LDL. Anti-inflammatory effects. By reducing inflammation in the arteries, cinnamon creates a healthier environment that discourages plaque formation. Now, I'm not saying you can eat cheeseburgers every day and rely on cinnamon to save you. It doesn't work like that. But when cinnamon is combined with a heart-smart diet filled with whole grains, leafy greens, lean proteins, and healthy oils, it can boost your body's ability to maintain healthy cholesterol levels. How to use cinnamon for cholesterol support. Add a sprinkle of cinnamon to your oatmeal or yogurt in the morning. Oats are already known for their cholesterol-lowering fiber, and cinnamon enhances their benefits. Mix cinnamon into a warm cup of tea or even black coffee. It adds flavor without needing sugar or cream. Use it as a seasoning for roasted vegetables like carrots, sweet potatoes, or butternut squash. The natural sweetness of these veggies pairs beautifully with cinnamon. I like to think of cinnamon as a supporting player in your cholesterol-lowering journey. It won't do all the heavy lifting, but it helps your body work more efficiently. It's like having a trusted friend in your corner, quietly assisting you while you do the bigger work of eating better and staying active. One thing I want to stress: cholesterol numbers don't improve overnight. Just like lowering blood pressure, it's about consistency. A little cinnamon every day is far more effective than taking a big spoonful once a week. And always remember, checking your cholesterol regularly and working with your doctor is key. In the next section, we're going to look at something equally important: boosting good cholesterol levels, HDL, and how cinnamon can help your heart's natural defense system thrive. When it comes to heart health, we often focus on lowering the bad cholesterol, LDL. But boosting good cholesterol, HDL, is just as important. HDL acts like a cleanup crew in your body. It moves through your bloodstream, collecting excess cholesterol and carrying it back to the liver for processing. The higher your HDL levels, the better your body is at keeping your arteries clean and flexible. And here's the good news: cinnamon can give your HDL levels a gentle push in the right direction. I remember talking with Tom, a retired high school coach from Michigan, who told me, "My doctor said my HDL is too low, and I don't know what to do. I don't eat much junk, but I'm still struggling." I explained that while genetics play a role, there are natural ways to support HDL. Adding Ceylon cinnamon is one of those easy, small steps that can make a difference, especially when paired with lifestyle habits like walking or cycling. How does cinnamon help boost HDL? Cinnamon's powerful antioxidants reduce inflammation in the arteries, which allows HDL to function more effectively. It also supports better lipid metabolism, which means your body becomes more efficient at processing fats. Think of HDL like a fleet of cleaning trucks on your arterial highways. When there's less inflammation, those trucks can move faster and more freely, clearing out the cholesterol that doesn't belong. Another way cinnamon helps is by improving insulin sensitivity. Studies show that better blood sugar control is linked to higher HDL levels. When your blood sugar is stable, your metabolism works more efficiently, which benefits your cholesterol profile overall. How can you naturally raise HDL with cinnamon? Here are a few simple, American-style ways to do it. Cinnamon coffee. Sprinkle a pinch of cinnamon on top of your morning coffee instead of sugar or artificial creamers. It adds flavor while helping your cholesterol. Nut mixes. Toss a bit of cinnamon with a handful of almonds or walnuts for a heart-healthy snack. Nuts are already great for boosting HDL, and cinnamon complements them perfectly. Smoothies. Blend a banana, a spoonful of Greek yogurt, a splash of almond milk, and a dash of cinnamon. This is a tasty way to start your day with HDL boosting power. Now, I want to be very honest. Cinnamon isn't a magic bullet. It won't suddenly raise your HDL by 20 points overnight. But if you make it part of your daily routine, along with exercise and a balanced diet, the long-term benefits are real. Even a small bump in HDL, just 5 to 10 points, can reduce your risk of heart disease. Another thing I encourage my patients to do is combine cinnamon with other HDL boosting habits. For example, cooking with olive oil, eating more fatty fish like salmon, and enjoying avocado toast instead of processed snacks. Cinnamon can be sprinkled on these foods to enhance both the flavor and the health benefits. Before we wrap up this section, let's talk about consistency. The key to boosting HDL with cinnamon is to use it in small amounts daily. Half a teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon per day is enough. Some of my patients like to mix it with warm water and honey before breakfast. It's like a natural tonic for your heart. Next, we'll dive into a critical question. Can cinnamon help prevent heart attacks? This is where the conversation about circulation, cholesterol, and inflammation all comes together. Heart attacks are one of the scariest health events anyone can experience. They often come without warning and can change a person's life in an instant. That's why prevention is so crucial. We need to focus not only on treating heart disease but also on avoiding it altogether. This is where cinnamon can play a supportive role, not as a cure, but as a daily ally for your cardiovascular health. To understand how cinnamon may help reduce the risk of heart attacks, let's look at the main causes. Most heart attacks are triggered by the buildup of fatty plaques inside the arteries, a condition called atherosclerosis. Over time, these plaques can rupture, blocking blood flow to the heart. High blood pressure, high LDL cholesterol, and chronic inflammation all speed up this process. Cinnamon, with its anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, tackles two major culprits of heart attacks: oxidative stress and inflammation. Think of oxidative stress like a slow fire burning inside your blood vessels. Cinnamon's antioxidants are like a team of firefighters, extinguishing the damage before it gets worse. By calming inflammation and protecting artery walls, cinnamon helps reduce the chance of plaque forming in the first place. I remember meeting Karen, a 68-year-old retired librarian from California, who shared a powerful story. She lost her father to a heart attack at just 60 and was determined to avoid the same fate. Karen made lifestyle changes, walking daily, eating more fresh foods, and she added a pinch of cinnamon to her tea each morning after learning about its heart benefits. During her last checkup, her doctor noted her improved cholesterol and blood pressure numbers, both of which lower her risk for heart issues. She told me, "It's such a small step, but it feels like I'm actively protecting myself." How cinnamon supports heart attack prevention. Improves blood circulation. Healthy blood flow means less strain on the heart. Reduces LDL cholesterol. Less bad cholesterol means fewer fatty plaques in arteries. Balances blood sugar. Stable blood sugar reduces stress on blood vessels. Lowers blood pressure. Less pressure on artery walls means reduced damage over time. Now, let's be realistic. Cinnamon alone can't guarantee you'll never have a heart attack. But when paired with heart-healthy habits, it can become part of a powerful prevention plan. Consider combining cinnamon with the Mediterranean diet, rich in vegetables, fish, and healthy fats, regular exercise like walking or swimming, and stress-reducing activities such as meditation or yoga. Simple daily habit for prevention. Mix 1/2 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon with a little honey and warm water. Drink it first thing in the morning, or add the cinnamon to your oatmeal. This gentle routine supports both heart and overall health. The best part? Cinnamon makes prevention enjoyable. It's not about swallowing bitter pills or forcing yourself to eat bland foods. It's about adding flavor and warmth to your meals while quietly supporting your cardiovascular system. As we move to the next section, we'll look at how blood sugar control and heart health are connected, and why cinnamon's effect on insulin sensitivity is another reason it's called a super spice for your heart. Most people think of blood sugar control as something only diabetics need to worry about. But here's the truth. Unstable blood sugar levels can harm your heart, even if you don't have diabetes. Over time, high blood sugar damages blood vessels, increases inflammation, and raises the risk of heart attacks and strokes. This is why I always tell my patients, your heart and blood sugar are teammates. Take care of one, and you help the other. Cinnamon is remarkable because it not only supports heart health directly but also improves insulin sensitivity. Insulin is like a key that helps glucose, sugar, enter your cells for energy. When your body becomes resistant to insulin, blood sugar levels rise and stay high, creating a toxic environment for your blood vessels. Cinnamon makes your cells more responsive to insulin, which means your blood sugar stays steady instead of spiking and crashing. I think back to a conversation I had with Bill, a 65-year-old retired factory worker from Ohio. Bill didn't have diabetes, but he was told during a routine checkup that his fasting blood sugar was creeping up. He was worried because his father had heart disease. I recommended a few lifestyle changes, like cutting back on processed carbs, and suggested he try adding a small amount of cinnamon to his daily diet. A few months later, his blood sugar levels improved, and his doctor noted that his cardiovascular risk factors were also better. Why is stable blood sugar so important for heart health? Reduces blood vessel damage. Constantly high blood sugar acts like sandpaper on your artery walls, making it easier for plaques to form. Lowers inflammation. Blood sugar spikes trigger inflammatory responses, which stress the heart. Improves cholesterol profile. Better insulin sensitivity often leads to improved HDL-LDL balance. How to use cinnamon for blood sugar and heart support. Morning drink. Mix 1/2 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon in warm water with a bit of honey. It's a soothing way to start the day while helping control blood sugar. Healthy snacks. Sprinkle cinnamon on apple slices or Greek yogurt for a naturally sweet. Heart-healthy snack. Cooking tip. Add cinnamon to roasted sweet potatoes or even savory dishes like chili to reduce the need for extra salt or sugar. Another thing I want to emphasize is that dietary fiber and cinnamon work hand in hand. Foods like oats, beans, and leafy greens slow down sugar absorption in the bloodstream. When you add cinnamon, you enhance this effect, keeping blood sugar steady for longer. A quick tip for older adults: pair cinnamon with protein-rich meals. For example, sprinkle cinnamon on cottage cheese or a protein smoothie. This combination prevents blood sugar spikes and gives your heart and muscles steady energy. As we wrap up this section, remember that the blood sugar-heart connection is often underestimated. Even small, daily changes, like using cinnamon instead of sugar in your coffee, can have a huge impact over time. Next, we'll talk about the best type of cinnamon you should use. Not all cinnamon is created equal, and choosing the wrong one could reduce its benefits or even cause harm if overused. Not all cinnamon is created equal, and this is one of the biggest mistakes I see people make when trying to add cinnamon to their diet for heart health. The truth is, the type of cinnamon you choose can make a big difference in both the benefits you get and the potential risks. There are two main types of cinnamon commonly found in stores: cassia cinnamon, the standard variety you'll find in most supermarkets, and Ceylon cinnamon, also called true cinnamon. While both have health benefits, Ceylon is considered superior for long-term use, especially if you're adding cinnamon to your daily routine. What's the difference? Cassia cinnamon. This is the darker, stronger tasting cinnamon you're most likely familiar with. While it's affordable and widely available, it contains higher levels of a compound called coumarin. Coumarin can be harmful to the liver when consumed in large amounts over time. If you're using cinnamon daily, sticking with cassia might expose you to more coumarin than your body can safely handle. Ceylon cinnamon. Lighter in color and milder in flavor. Ceylon cinnamon has much lower coumarin content, making it the safer choice for regular use. It's richer in beneficial antioxidants and is often referred to as the premium variety. I remember a patient, Susan, a retired school principal from Oregon, who came to me worried about liver enzyme levels in her recent blood test. She had been consuming large amounts of cassia cinnamon every day, thinking she was helping her heart. Once we switched her to Ceylon cinnamon and reduced her daily intake to a healthy range, about 1/2 teaspoon per day, her liver function improved, and she was still able to enjoy the cardiovascular benefits. How to identify Ceylon cinnamon? Label check. Look for the word Ceylon on the packaging. If it doesn't specify, it's probably cassia. Color and texture. Ceylon sticks are lighter, softer, and have a more delicate aroma compared to the thicker, darker cassia sticks. Price point. Ceylon is often more expensive, but the health benefits and safety are worth the extra cost. Where to buy it? Many health food stores carry Ceylon cinnamon, and you can also find it online from trusted suppliers. I always advise buying from reputable brands to ensure quality and purity. Why choosing the right cinnamon matters for heart health. Using Ceylon cinnamon allows you to take advantage of its anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and cholesterol-lowering effects without worrying about harmful side effects from excessive coumarin. It's the smart choice for anyone who wants to make cinnamon a daily part of their wellness routine. Practical tip. Keep a small jar of Ceylon cinnamon in your kitchen and use it in creative ways, sprinkling it on toast, mixing it into coffee, or blending it into smoothies. It's lighter, Slightly sweeter flavor pairs beautifully with both sweet and savory dishes. As we move to the next section, we'll explore something that surprises many people: the ideal daily dose of cinnamon for maximum benefits. How much is enough? And how much is too much? One of the most common questions I get is, how much cinnamon should I take every day to see real benefits for my heart? The answer is surprisingly simple, but it's also critical to get it right. Like most things in life, balance is key. Too little won't give you noticeable results, but too much could cause harm. The ideal dose. Most health experts agree that the sweet spot for daily cinnamon intake is 1/2 to 1 teaspoon per day, about 1.6 to 3 grams. This is enough to provide the antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds your body needs without overwhelming your system with too much coumarin, the compound we discussed in section 9 that can stress the liver if consumed in excess. Why not more? Some people assume that if a little is good, more must be better. But large doses, like multiple tablespoons a day, can cause issues. Especially if you're using cassia cinnamon. Excess coumarin can lead to liver irritation or interact with medications for blood pressure, cholesterol, or diabetes. That's why I always emphasize moderation with consistency. Let me share a story about Ellen, a 70-year-old grandmother from Georgia. Ellen heard about cinnamon's benefits and decided to add 2 heaping tablespoons to her daily smoothie. After a month, she started feeling off, nausea, dizziness, and a dull ache in her stomach. When we reviewed her diet, the culprit was obvious. We cut her intake back to a single teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon per day. And not only did the symptoms disappear, but she still reaped all the heart-boosting benefits. The right way to take cinnamon daily. Split the dose, if you want to use a full teaspoon. Consider splitting it between meals. 1/2 teaspoon in your morning coffee and 1/2 teaspoon in your evening tea. Pair with nutrient-rich foods. Cinnamon is more effective when combined with heart-friendly foods like oats, apples, or Greek yogurt. These foods already support healthy cholesterol and blood pressure, and cinnamon amplifies their benefits. Create a daily ritual. Turn it into a small daily habit. I often tell my patients, just like brushing your teeth, adding cinnamon should feel effortless. Does timing matter? Not necessarily. You can take cinnamon any time of the day. But adding it to breakfast or lunch is smart because it helps stabilize blood sugar after meals. This keeps your energy steady and reduces the stress on your cardiovascular system. What about supplements? Some people ask about cinnamon capsules or extracts. While these can be useful, I prefer the natural form. Whole cinnamon powder is safer and easier to incorporate into everyday meals. If you're considering supplements, always check with your doctor first, especially if you're on medication. Quick daily mix. A simple recipe I share with patients. 1/2 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of honey, 1 cup of warm water. This creates a soothing drink that supports blood flow, lowers inflammation, and gives your heart a gentle boost. Before we wrap up this section, I want to remind you that cinnamon is just one piece of the puzzle. A teaspoon a day won't erase years of unhealthy habits. But when paired with a balanced diet and movement, it can be a powerful ally for long-term wellness. In the next section, we'll get creative and talk about simple ways to add cinnamon to your meals, so you never get bored while caring for your heart. One of the things I love most about cinnamon is how easy it is to use. You don't need to be a gourmet chef or spend hours in the kitchen to add this spice to your meals. In fact, once you start using cinnamon regularly, you'll find it pairs well with so many everyday foods. It's warm, comforting, and slightly sweet, making it a great alternative to sugar in a lot of dishes. I often tell my patients, think of cinnamon as your secret flavor weapon, instead of reaching for a sugar shaker or an extra drizzle of syrup. A sprinkle of cinnamon can add depth and natural sweetness without the empty calories. And the best part? Every pinch gives your heart a small boost. Here are some of my favorite practical ways to add cinnamon to meals. Morning oatmeal or cereal. Sprinkle half a teaspoon of cinnamon over your warm oatmeal or whole grain cereal. Pair it with apple slices, bananas, or a handful of blueberries for a heart-friendly, delicious breakfast. Coffee or tea. Skip the flavored creamers loaded with sugar. Instead, add a pinch of cinnamon directly to your coffee grounds before brewing or stir it into your tea. It gives a rich aroma and flavor without any guilt. Smoothies. Cinnamon blends beautifully with smoothies, especially those made with bananas, almond milk, and a scoop of protein powder. A dash of cinnamon brings warmth to the flavor and helps balance blood sugar. Toast topping. Make a healthier version of cinnamon toast by spreading whole grain bread with a thin layer of almond butter and sprinkling cinnamon on top. It's satisfying, nutritious, and keeps your heart in mind. Baked sweet potatoes or carrots. Cinnamon isn't just for sweet dishes. It pairs wonderfully with roasted vegetables. A little olive oil, a dash of cinnamon, and a sprinkle of black pepper on sweet potatoes or carrots will surprise you. Greek yogurt or cottage cheese. Add cinnamon and a drizzle of honey to plain Greek yogurt. It transforms a simple snack into something that tastes indulgent while boosting your HDL cholesterol. Homemade trail mix. Toss almonds, walnuts, or pecans with a touch of cinnamon and lightly roast them for a heart-healthy snack. Nuts plus cinnamon are a winning combo for cardiovascular health. Rice and quinoa bowls. A pinch of cinnamon in rice or quinoa, especially when paired with raisins or cranberries, creates a beautiful sweet and savory side dish. Soups and stews. A small amount of cinnamon can enhance savory dishes like chili or beef stew. It's subtle but adds depth to the flavor. Baked goods. If you enjoy baking, use cinnamon in healthier recipes like oat muffins or banana bread. You can reduce the sugar and still enjoy a delicious flavor. A simple trick. I tell my patients to keep a small shaker of cinnamon on their kitchen counter, right where they'd usually keep sugar. That visual reminder makes it easy to reach for cinnamon instead of sweeteners. Why is this important? Because when you replace sugar with cinnamon, you're not just cutting calories, you're actively helping your heart by lowering inflammation and blood sugar spikes. It's one of the easiest upgrades you can make to your daily meals. Take my patient Linda from Ohio. For example, she started replacing sugar in her morning coffee with a small dash of cinnamon. In just a few months, she lost 6 pounds, felt more energetic, and saw improved blood pressure readings. It's not magic, it's about stacking small, heart-smart habits that add up. In the next section, we'll discuss the common mistakes people make with cinnamon, because as good as this spice is, there are a few things you need to avoid if you want to get the best results safely. Cinnamon may be a powerhouse spice for heart health, but like anything, it's possible to use it the wrong way. Over the years, I've seen many well-meaning people make simple mistakes that reduce its benefits, or worse, cause unnecessary side effects. If you want to get the most out of cinnamon, it's important to know what not to do. Let's start with the biggest mistake: using too much cinnamon. I remember meeting Paul, a 66-year-old retired engineer from Illinois, who heard that cinnamon could lower blood pressure and cholesterol. In his enthusiasm, he started adding 2 to 3 tablespoons of cinnamon to his daily shakes. Within a few weeks, Paul started feeling nausea and discomfort. When we reviewed his diet, I quickly realized he was taking in far too much coumarin, the compound in cassia cinnamon that can strain the liver when consumed in high amounts. After switching to Ceylon cinnamon and reducing his intake to 1/2 teaspoon per day, his symptoms disappeared and he still got the heart-healthy benefits. Mistake number 2: relying on cassia cinnamon for daily use. As we discussed in Section 9, cassia cinnamon contains higher levels of coumarin. If you use cinnamon every day, Ceylon cinnamon is the safer choice. Many people don't know the difference and just grab the cheapest jar from the grocery store. While cassia is fine for occasional baking or cooking, it's not ideal for regular, long-term consumption. Mistake number 3. Treating cinnamon like a cure-all. Cinnamon is powerful, but it's not a magic bullet. Sprinkling cinnamon on a donut doesn't turn it into a heart-healthy snack. I tell my patients that cinnamon is like a teammate. It works best when combined with a balanced diet, exercise, and regular checkups. Think of it as a complement, not a replacement, for healthy habits. Mistake number 4. Using old or low-quality cinnamon. Spices lose their potency over time. If you've had the same jar of cinnamon sitting in your pantry for years, it may no longer have the same antioxidant power. Fresh, high-quality cinnamon, especially Ceylon, has a stronger aroma and richer color. I suggest replacing your cinnamon every 6 to 12 months. Mistake number 5. Not checking for allergic reactions or medication interactions. Though rare, some people are sensitive to cinnamon. If you experience mouth irritation or stomach discomfort, you might be overdoing it. Cinnamon can also interact with certain medications, like blood thinners or diabetes drugs. Always check with your doctor before making big changes. Mistake number 6. Adding cinnamon to sugar-loaded foods. I've seen people sprinkle cinnamon on top of sugary cereals or pastries and call it healthy. While cinnamon has benefits, it can't counteract the damage of processed sugars or trans fats. Use it to enhance natural foods like oatmeal, smoothies, or roasted vegetables, not to fix junk food. Mistake number 7. Ignoring consistency. Another common problem is inconsistency. Some people try cinnamon for a week, don't see immediate results, and give up. Cinnamon's benefits work gradually. It's about building a steady routine, just like brushing your teeth or going for a walk. Here's a quick list of do's and don'ts. Do. Use 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon daily. Do. Combine cinnamon with healthy foods like oatmeal, nuts, or smoothies. Do. Store it in a cool, dry place for freshness. Don't overload on large amounts, especially cassia cinnamon. Don't expect miracles if the rest of your diet is unhealthy. Don't use cinnamon past its expiration date. I had a patient named Rebecca, a 70-year-old from Pennsylvania, who told me, "Doc, I thought I was doing something healthy by adding cinnamon to my morning cinnamon roll." We both laughed when I explained that the sugar and butter were undoing any benefit. Now, she uses cinnamon on baked apples instead, and she loves it even more. In the next section, we'll talk about who should avoid large amounts of cinnamon. While it's safe for most people, there are a few exceptions and conditions where you need to be extra careful. While cinnamon is generally safe for most people, there are specific situations where caution is needed. I often remind my patients that natural doesn't always mean risk-free. Even a powerful natural spice like cinnamon can cause issues if you take too much or have certain health conditions. Let's start with those who should be extra careful. 1. People on blood-thinning medications. Cinnamon contains compounds that have mild blood-thinning properties. For someone already taking medications like warfarin or aspirin, adding large amounts of cinnamon can increase the risk of bleeding. This doesn't mean you have to avoid cinnamon entirely, but you should keep your daily intake low and consult with your doctor first. 2. Those with liver problems. Cassia cinnamon, in particular, is high in coumarin, a compound that can strain the liver when consumed in large amounts. If you have liver disease or abnormal liver enzyme levels, stick to Ceylon cinnamon and limit your intake to 1/2 teaspoon a day or less. I recall a patient named Sarah from Kentucky, who had mild fatty liver disease. She was unknowingly taking large spoonfuls of cassia cinnamon in her shakes every morning. When we switched her to a smaller amount of Ceylon cinnamon, her liver function tests improved, and she still enjoyed the benefits. 3. People with allergies or sensitivities. Though uncommon, some people are sensitive to cinnamon. They may experience irritation in the mouth, tongue, or stomach when consuming it. If you notice discomfort, rashes, or burning sensations after eating cinnamon, cut back or stop using it and check with your doctor. 4. Pregnant or breastfeeding women. Cinnamon in small amounts is generally safe during pregnancy. But large amounts, especially from supplements, are not recommended. The effects of high doses during pregnancy haven't been well studied. So it's always better to play it safe. 5. People with low blood sugar. Cinnamon is known for its ability to lower blood sugar. For someone who already struggles with low blood sugar, hypoglycemia, taking large amounts could cause dizziness or weakness. I recommend using cinnamon in moderation and pairing it with balanced meals that include protein and healthy fats. 6. Those on diabetes medications. If you're taking medication to lower blood sugar, cinnamon can amplify the effects, potentially causing blood sugar to drop too low. This is why I always encourage my diabetic patients to monitor their blood sugar carefully and discuss cinnamon use with their healthcare provider. Safe use tips for at-risk individuals. Choose Ceylon cinnamon over cassia for daily use. Stick to 1/2 teaspoon per day unless your doctor advises otherwise. Avoid supplements unless medically approved. Whole cinnamon in food is much safer. Pay attention to your body. If you feel off, dizzy, nauseous, or weak, scale back and reassess. Here's a story that highlights the importance of being cautious. George, a 72-year-old retired farmer from Iowa, loved adding cinnamon to everything: his coffee, pancakes, even his chili. He was also on blood-thinning medication after a heart surgery. When his doctor noticed unusual bruising, they traced it back to his excessive cinnamon intake. After reducing his cinnamon to just a small sprinkle daily, the bruising stopped, and George could safely enjoy his favorite spice again. Remember, cinnamon is a tool, not a cure-all. Like any tool, it must be used correctly and safely. For most people, a small amount daily is perfectly fine. But if you fall into one of the categories above, moderation is key and medical advice is essential. In the next section, we'll explore the powerful combination of cinnamon plus a healthy lifestyle and how this duo can create a long-term shield for your heart health. Cinnamon alone is powerful, but when combined with the right lifestyle habits, it becomes part of a winning formula for long-term heart health. I always tell my patients, think of cinnamon as the spark, but your daily choices are the fuel that keeps your heart strong. Without a healthy foundation, like balanced meals, physical activity, and stress management, even the best natural remedies can only do so much. Why lifestyle matters. Heart disease doesn't develop overnight. It's the result of years, sometimes decades, of small habits that either help or harm your cardiovascular system. The good news? The same small steps that may have led you in the wrong direction can also bring you back to better health. And that's where cinnamon fits in beautifully. It enhances your good habits and supports your body's natural defenses. Imagine combining these 3 simple pillars with a daily sprinkle of cinnamon. Balanced diet, whole grains, leafy greens, lean proteins, healthy fats, and colorful fruits. These foods lower inflammation and cholesterol, while cinnamon adds an antioxidant boost. Regular exercise, walking 20 to 30 minutes a day is enough to improve circulation, reduce blood pressure, and keep your heart strong. Pairing movement with cinnamon's blood flow benefits is like giving your heart a double layer of protection. Stress management. Stress raises blood pressure and inflammation, which hurt your heart. A calming tea with cinnamon and honey in the evening can help soothe both your mind and body. A real-life example. Let me share Linda's story. Linda, a 64-year-old from North Carolina, struggled with high blood pressure and borderline cholesterol. She started adding cinnamon to her breakfast oatmeal, replaced sugary drinks with cinnamon-infused water, and began walking her dog twice a day. Within 6 months, her blood pressure dropped, her LDL levels improved, and she felt more energetic than she had in years. It wasn't one big thing. She told me. It was the combination of all the little steps. How to make cinnamon part of your lifestyle. Morning routine. Add 1/2 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon to coffee, tea, or oatmeal. Meal prep. Season roasted vegetables or lean meats with a pinch of cinnamon for added flavor and heart benefits. Healthy snacks. Mix cinnamon into Greek yogurt, or sprinkle it over apple slices with a handful of almonds. Evening ritual. A warm cup of cinnamon tea can calm stress and help you wind down, which is great for heart health. The synergy effect. When cinnamon works alongside a heart-friendly lifestyle, the benefits multiply. For example, exercise naturally improves blood circulation. Cinnamon supports this by keeping your blood vessels relaxed and inflammation low. A healthy diet helps reduce LDL cholesterol. Cinnamon adds a boost by preventing LDL oxidation. Together, these habits create a powerful shield against heart disease. The mental shift. A lot of people think heart health is about making huge sacrifices or following strict, unpleasant diets. I like to remind my patients that it's about enjoyment and balance. Cinnamon makes healthy eating fun and flavorful. It's a small change that makes your other heart-smart choices easier to stick with. As we approach the final section, we'll talk about why prevention is the best medicine, and how a spice as simple as cinnamon can inspire a mindset of proactive care for your heart. If there's one message I want to leave with you, it's this: prevention will always beat treatment. The most powerful gift you can give your heart is to take small, proactive steps every single day. Cinnamon, as simple as it is, represents a mindset, a choice to support your body before problems begin. When combined with good habits, it's like giving your heart an extra shield. Why prevention matters. Heart disease, high blood pressure, and strokes often build silently over years. By the time symptoms show up, damage may already be significant. But if you create a heart-friendly lifestyle now, adding spices like cinnamon, eating nourishing foods, moving your body, and managing stress, you can prevent those issues before they take root. Think of it this way. Would you rather maintain your car regularly with small checkups or wait until the engine completely fails? Your heart is the same. Regular care, even something as simple as adding cinnamon daily, helps keep your engine running smoothly. Cinnamon is a symbol of prevention. I've seen firsthand how a small, consistent habit can spark big results. Take Emily, a 61-year-old retired schoolteacher from Colorado. She told me, "I never thought a sprinkle of cinnamon could change anything, but it made me feel like I was actively doing something for myself." That small change motivated her to walk more, eat better, and pay attention to her health. 2 years later, her cholesterol and blood pressure have improved, and she feels younger and more vibrant. Cinnamon isn't just about heart health, it's about building momentum. When you add this spice to your life, it's a reminder that small actions can protect your future. Your prevention checklist. To get the most from cinnamon as part of your preventive health plan, use it daily. 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon is enough. Pair it with heart-healthy meals, oats, fruits, lean proteins, and vegetables. Stay active. Walk 20 to 30 minutes daily. Movement enhances cinnamon circulation benefits. Stay hydrated and manage stress. Both are critical for lowering inflammation. Check with your doctor, especially if you take medication or have pre-existing conditions. A heartfelt perspective. When I talk about prevention, I'm not just thinking about numbers on a lab test. I'm thinking about the moments you want to protect, playing with your grandkids, going on walks with your spouse, traveling, laughing, and living fully. Your heart is at the center of all those moments. Taking care of it means you'll be there for more of them. Cinnamon is just one tool. but it's a powerful and accessible one. It's inexpensive, easy to use, and scientifically backed. Most importantly, it encourages you to take charge of your well-being every single day. Final words. As we wrap up this guide, I want to challenge you to take one small step today. Add a sprinkle of cinnamon to your coffee. Try it on baked apples. Or mix it into your tea. Do it not just for the flavor, but as a daily reminder that your health is worth protecting. Remember, prevention doesn't happen by accident, it's built by small, intentional choices, day after day. And trust me, the heart you protect now will thank you in the years to come. Cinnamon may seem like a simple spice sitting quietly in your kitchen cabinet. But as we've explored in this video, it has a powerful impact on heart health. We've seen how cinnamon helps improve blood flow, relaxes blood vessels, and lowers high blood pressure, a silent threat that millions of seniors face daily. It also plays a critical role in managing cholesterol by lowering harmful LDL levels and boosting protective HDL. While its antioxidant properties prevent plaque buildup and long-term damage to arteries. We also learned how cinnamon's ability to stabilize blood sugar is closely tied to heart health, reducing strain on blood vessels and improving overall cardiovascular function. When used correctly, especially as Ceylon cinnamon, it provides these benefits safely and effectively. But like any powerful tool, cinnamon works best when combined with a healthy lifestyle, balanced meals, daily movement, and regular medical checkups. From simple ways to add it to your oatmeal or coffee, to avoiding common mistakes like using too much cassia cinnamon. The key is moderation with consistency. Just 1/2 to 1 teaspoon a day, paired with heart-smart habits, can make a meaningful difference in your long-term well-being. Your heart deserves care, and prevention will always be the best medicine. You have the power to protect your health with small, intentional actions. So, start today. Sprinkle a little cinnamon into your life. Take that walk. Eat that fresh fruit, and give your heart the daily love it needs to stay strong for the years ahead.